John Lynch has spoken on the Trent Williams situation.
Okay.
Okay, this is front of the scrum at the Combine in Indy. This is John Lynch on the Trent Williams contractual situation.
Recent weeks, I've met with both Trent and with his agent, Vincent Taylor, and had really good, productive, and substantive meetings. And so here's what I know. Trent loves being a Niner. We love having Trent as a Niner. And it's up to us to figure that out and to thread that needle. There's some unique circumstances in that we all know what Trent is as a player, how great of a player he's been. He's going to be 38 years old. And so there's some things that go into that. But I think we're all on the same page and feel very positive about where that's going.
Okay, that's an interesting comment right there.
I mean, wow. Strong.
Okay, what stood out?
It's up to us to make that work.
Uh-huh.
In other words, we got to find enough money to where he's going to be happy, and we have to structure the deal, Parag Marate, financial guy, to where we're not totally getting hosed, but at the same time, we need him happy.
Yeah.
It's up to us. He was heavy on the us.
There's really... I don't know if I can think of another guy in the NFL that sort of commands the reaction that Trent does when he walks into the room. Like, that is King Alpha.
Yep. Mama, there goes that man.
That's the dude.
Yep.
You even see it on the field. Like, think about that now. Okay, there's 22 of the most maniacal, in shape, crazy human beings alive. But if Trent stands up, all of them are like, oh, no, never mind. Never mind. We're good here.
Including the Hall of Fame GM,
right.
Who made his living absolutely ruining people with ferocious hits. I'm not saying that he's afraid of Trent, but you realize how important he is. The other name that I thought of right away was Patrick Mahomes, and he is not as physically commanding, but as good as he's been, he's able to get basically whatever he wants, and he reworked his deal again. He does it every year, and, just give me, here's some more of that money up front and whatever. So I think he's kind of similar. Maybe Josh Allen would be another guy. Beyond that, you're running out of names.
Let's hear this again.
Okay.
John Lynch on the Trent Williams contractual situation. There's some fun little nuggets in here. Listen again.
Recent weeks, I've met with both Trent and with his agent, Vincent Taylor, and had really good, productive, and substantive meetings. And so here's what I know. Trent loves being a Niner. We love having Trent as a Niner. And it's up to us to figure that out and to thread that needle. There's some unique circumstances in that we all know what Trent is as a player, how great of a player he's been. He's going to be 38 years old, and so there's some things that go into that. But I think we're all on the same page and feel very positive about where that's going.
Okay, so let me just take a stab. A little shot in the dark here because I'm not going to act like we're all tapped in on everything that's going on behind the scenes with these negotiations. But I like your observation. It's up to us to figure that out. We all know, but did you hear how good of a player Trent has been? But he's 38, and there's some things that go into that. So it sounds to me like the argument, if you want to call it that, or the rub in the room, because John says they've been having great conversations. He even uses the agent's name because we know how we all have to say the agent's name.
That's
now.
right.
2026. Say the agent. Say my name. Say my name. Okay. John says the name, and then he says, Trent's 38. There's some things that go into that. I think the argument probably is, here's what we'd like to do contractually, and Trent is like, I'm still the best in the league. And the Niners are like, right, but you're 38, and you're asking for us to not even pay for your age 38 year. You're asking for us to pay for your age 39 year.
And maybe your 40 year.
And maybe your 40 year. So, like, we will, but can you acknowledge, big fella, you're getting really old. And, boy, a Bay Area fan does not need to be reminded twice how difficult of a needle that is to thread. It's happening all around us.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Trent Williams.
Justin Verlander. I mean, he's older than all of them.
Yes, he is. And Tigers.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, that's not an easy thing for them to hear or acknowledge when they're still, Steph, Trent, playing at the damn close to the height of their powers.
Especially when you're dealing with that position and that sport, right. And what he has to go through to play 17 games plus playoffs. And I think last year he did miss maybe only one game. He played a ton last year, and Steph is out here making 60 plus million, and now he's dealing with runner's knee, and he's had other knee issues in his career. He's had a hamstring that kept him out. He's had ankle problems, and so he's playing a non-contact, for the most part, sport, and yet here he is at 38, and things are starting to go south. And so I look at the Niners, and they're right to be a little bit tentative as far as, going out and extending him many more years. I'm all for, all right, Trent, we'll go ahead and rip this one up. We're going to give you fresh money, a new bonus, and we're going to add on voidable years again toward the back end of your career when you won't be playing, but we'll pay that money then against the cap. We're going to give you money now in a bonus. We'll get you a 2-year deal, 2 years and $55 million with $35 guaranteed. And, is that good, Trent? Is that good for you?
Gosh, this is it just feels like such a familiar story. And I think for fans and the team, I think we all get it. It really does feel like you're stuck. Okay? I love this, and I can't remember how you phrased it exactly, like which 38-year-old is playing better or whatever, however you said it. These two situations feel very similar from this perspective. Obviously, they both have 1 year left on their deal. Now, only one is asking for additional security now. That's largely because of the sport he plays. And so it's different the way you structure all of this. But in both situations, you're talking about a super, uber, duper, duper Hall of Fame player. And you have to commit. You have to build around this person. And you don't feel great about it because their age.
Right.
And their health history recently. But at the same time, you got no other option.
No choice. For different reasons. I think Steph, at the end of this year, he can ask for another 1 year deal, and he can say, look, I'm looking for 65. And Joe Lacob says yes before the 5 even comes out of Steph's mouth, because he's worth more than $65 million to that organization as an entertainment entity. But for Trent, as the left tackle, you just signed your quarterback to $53 million a year, and you're going to go with Austin Pleasance, all due respect. But you're no Trent Williams. And so Trent's thinking, yeah, you just paid your QB. You want somebody to have his back. Literally, it's me, but I'm going to need a little bit of fresh money. And they're going to have to pony up.
I have no qualms with elite athletes taking advantage of the situation in which they find themselves. Like, why wouldn't he do this?
Right.
This is why when we compared Trent and Ayuk same offseason, and people were kind of putting him in the same bucket, you remember that? And they're like, oh, Brandon's holding out, and Trent's holding out. And, but kind of hold him to the same standard. And I'm like, no, not at all. The Trent thing didn't bother me one bit. Because Trent Williams is Trent Williams. And training camp, quite frankly, probably not a great thing for him anyway.
Yeah.
As it turns out, there was also a lot going on that year in his personal life. That was probably a big piece of it. But all of the 49ers, even add in Juwan Jennings, whether the injury was fake or not, Nick Bosa the year before, Deebo Samuel to a certain degree, he got a little chirpy. But I don't really have issue with this stuff, provided that it is going on behind the scenes. Like, take care of your business. Get every dollar you can.
Yeah.
You should do that. But don't go on TikTok and start making stuff up. Don't start talking about it literally when you haven't even left your locker after a Super Bowl loss yet. All of that stuff to me was a red flag that sort of applied to Ayuk and Ayuk alone. So Trent's doing it again. He's in position to get money. Do it, big fella.
Right, because he's in a spot where they absolutely have to have him. And if Steph Curry, and many fans are saying, oh, Steph, you should just come back and play for $40 million like LeBron. That way we can use that other $25 million on other players around you. And that sounds real good and cute and stuff. And he might do that. But at the same time, if you're Steph Curry, you have every right to say, pay me as much as I possibly can make, because he earns them more than $65 million each and every year. he probably is worth to Joe Lacob closer to $3 billion, maybe $4 billion without the chef and the rest of them, Draymond, Clay, Steve Kerr, whatever. But that thing went from what he bought it for to what it's worth now. A lot of that's because of Steph. So if he wants to ask for $65.5 million in an extension, you're getting off easy, Joe Lacob.
I mean, players are allowed to ask for what they're worth. All people are. Yeah. But especially when when they put their bodies through this kind of stuff, I just don't, someone just texted in, like, save some for the teammates. Again, this actually might open up even more money for the 49ers this year. Not necessarily next year. And Trent's elite. Why should he not be paid? Why should he not? I don't think he's asking for a larger slice of the pie than he's already getting. He's asking for another year. He's asking for more guarantees.
Guarantees, yep.
If he wants to play for 2 more years, and he's still really good.
And if he's making, the base this year is $22 million, if you can cut that base down to like $11 million, and you take the other 11 and you pop that into a bonus, he gets the $11 million guaranteed, and the team has the ability to spread that money out over years. It can be a win-win. It just matters how much he really wants in terms of fresh money.